It's time for a new compilation. Today, 10 of your favorite tips and tricks for CorelDRAW. In today's tutorial, we're going to learn how we can auto-trace an image to convert rasters into vectors using CorelDRAW. As you can see, I already placed a raster image. It's blurry, it's made of pixels, we can clearly see that. So let's convert that to scalable SVG. Click on this image and you will have Trace Bitmap option above. There are several options. There's a Quick Trace, Centerline or Outline Trace. And there are also some hints. What is the suitable preset for our kind of drawing? So in my case, I'm using a clip art. Clip arts usually got limited colors, just like this cartoon drawing. I click on that, and I got a suggested settings for a clip art. Details are set to 95. I think I can reduce that a bit. '85 is even better. We don't want too many little details to kind of destroy our overall illustration. Okay, let's now click OK at the bottom right to confirm this trace. And here it is, really quick. Let's zoom in, Command plus to zoom in, and as you can see now, this illustration is very sharp. We turn this pixelated raster graphics into a sharp vector illustration. In addition, we can tap to all of the properties of the vector graphics, like recoloring. So if I now ungroup this, I will be able to select certain shapes, so those building block shapes, and change color of them very quickly, simply by setting a new color from the color panel. So it's really easy to actually modify the color of the vector image. It's way easier than with raster graphics. So if I just want to change the necktie color for SpongeBob, I can select that, give it a new color, let's go with green, and here it is. Alright, so that's how you turn pixels into vectors using CorelDRAW. Now, I should save this new version as SVG. If you plan to use it later as vectors, you can save it as the native CorelDRAW file, of course, but if you will send it to somebody else, maybe without CorelDRAW, you can export this as SVG. So let's click File, Export, and from here you can select SVG as your format. That's the most universal vector format that all of the vector editing programs can open. Adobe Illustrator, Affinity Designer, everybody can open SVG without problem. Let me show you how we can adjust the page color in CorelDRAW. After you start a new document, you will see your page. By default, it's no color. You may also think about it as a white blank page. Head to Layout at the top menu and search for Page Background. Click on that and you will see this pop-up window with preferences. As you can see, there's no backdrop right now for this page. We can fill it with solid color. So let's try that. And I click OK. And my page just changed to this yellow that I choose. Let's go to Layout and Page Background again. And as you may notice, we can also fill it with bitmap here, so we can actually put the image as the page backdrop as well. Let's go back to no backdrop and I will show you alternative way. Alternatively, you can keep it as no color and use a shape as your backdrop. So you can grab a rectangle, fill it with color of your choice, stretch it all to the edge. With snapping on, it will be really easy, so be sure the snapping is on here to the page so you can easily snap to the edge of your page. And just like that, You can fill your page with the color using a shape. You can right-click on that shape and lock it. So you will not select this shape by mistake, and you can work on this page with this rectangle as your backdrop. So as you can see, there are two main ways: layout, page backdrop, or you can put a shape that will work for you as the backdrop. Don't forget to lock that shape so you will not select this by mistake. Let me show you how we can round corners of a shape in CorelDRAW. Be sure you got our selection tool active, the first one at the top. Then click on the shape. You will see that we got three options here for corners. Rounded, we can have concave corners like that, and straight cuts. There are also four corners here. Right now I got this link on, so I'm changing the property for all four corners, but keep in mind we can unlink and change only for one. Alright, so with this link on, I'm changing the property over here by increasing this number to 20. And you can see it already. I got rounded corners. Let's make it even larger, maybe 50. And the corners are even more rounded. We can now change a type. It's non-destructive, so we can always go back to here. If I unlink those corners, I can change this value only for one corner. So we can make this corner at the top way larger. Alright, so now we know how we can use this panel above to round corners. Alternatively, we can use a tool from the tool panel. So if you grab a second tool on the list here for editing nodes, we can grab this node that is exactly at the corner and make it round. And this time we got a bit more control because we're moving this by hand. But if you want more precision, we can always go back to the top and type it exactly from the keyboard, like that. So that's how you round corners on different shapes in CorelDRAW. I'm going to show you three techniques that we can use to rotate objects or text in CorelDRAW. So the very first thing is to use the Move tool, the very first tool at the tool list. Look like a little black cursor. So this is the selection tool. Click on your object and then click again at the center, this little X. Now we are in rotation mode when you can freely rotate the object. As you may notice, we got origin of rotation that we can move. So I can move that point to here, and now I'm rotating around that point. This can be really handy. Let's put back this around the center and take a look at the very top here. Even we are not in the rotation mode, we can see the angle. By changing this angle here, we can apply rotation, just like that. So that's the second way, simply by typing the angle from the keyboard. The last way is to change to kind of unknown tool, not many people use it, so click and hold here, and you will see a free transform tool. And this tool got four different modes. The very first mode is called rotation. So using that, you can rotate the shape around. Keep in mind, the place where you click is important. So if I click here, I'm rotating around this area. So you must click in the center if you want to rotate around the center. Alright, so this tool is a bit messy. So what I recommend is to simply use the pick tool, the selection tool, the cursor tool. And then again, when you click on your shape first time, you got a transform option, so you can scale it up and down. If you want to rotate, just click at the center one more time. And now we can do rotation. How can we arc, curve, bend the text using CorelDRAW? So here I am in my CorelDRAW on my Mac, but it's very similar on Windows. Simply select the text tool first, because we need to have a text that we're going to bend. So I use the text tool, a simple click, and now I can type whatever I want. All right, and here's my text. You can stretch it, change the font at the top, you can change the size manually, or even adjust colors by picking new color while the text is still selected. To curve the text, we actually got two options. We can use the envelope tool, or we can put the text on the path. So let me show you both. To put the text on the path, we need the path first. So for example, you can have a shape or any line drawn by pen tool. With path like this, you can copy your text, Command C, and then while the text tool is selected, as you can see, the icon is changing while I'm touching the edge, touching the line. So click on the line and paste your text over there. Now our text is pasted on that path, on that shape. With the move tool, we can easily move it around, up, down. Here it is, it's inside the path, it's slightly curved. Keep in mind, by dragging this red point, you can modify it anytime, and the benefit of this method is still stay as the editable text, so I can delete part of it or type something new and it will work just fine. So that's putting the text on the path. By doing that, you will unlock some new options here at the top, and it will help you to adjust the spacing on your letters, how the text should be arcing. All right, and of course, we can make this path here invisible. So you don't need to stare on this black line all the time. Simply for the outline, go with the invisible color instead of black, and the line is now invisible. So we move from the straight text to a slightly curved text. Of course, as you can guess, if I use something more curvy, so if I make a line like this with the pen tool, I can also use this tool, use that line as the guidance for the text. Take a look how crazy it is now. And if you go with the node tool, you will have a great control here, actually moving letters one by one, adjusting this to a perfect fit. By changing the curve of the line, the text will also readjust. So that's why putting the text, live text on the live path, it's really beneficial, give us this great flexibility. All right, so that's option number one, putting the text on the path. Let's explore option number two, using the envelope tool. Let's head to Effects and search for Envelope. With Envelope on, we can select a different base shape from the panel here at the right side in my case, and I already put the flag shape on it. We can still modify the shape by moving those control points. So there are many pre-made shapes that we can put the envelope of the text on it right there, but you can also use them and then modify them later. So if I put the text to envelope like that, I can still drag those points, make it more dramatic. By adding new points in the middle of the regular envelope, you will be able to nicely curve it into the arc as well. And that's the second method I want to show you today. So you can put this text by placing it on the path, so any vector line, shape, or line drawn by you by hand, or applying the effects, envelope, and then you got great control on it by choosing the preset or simply adjusting it yourself as I just did. If you double tap, you will be back here and you can make further adjustments to the effect. If you make some mistakes, you can always clear envelope at the top and start over. Let me show you how you can easily and quickly center your object to the page in CorelDRAW. So here I am, and I got this object here, the star. Click on the object first, and then at the very top you will see alignment panel. You can open this window, and below all of those alignments you will see a function center to page. If you click on that, your object will jump straight to the center of your current page. You can also limit that only to a horizontal center, so the object is still kind of offset down here. And other way around, we can also use the vertical center of the page, like that. Keep in mind, if you got two objects selected like this, and you select the option to jump to the center of the page, they will both do that. In addition, like always, you can use alignments between objects that will kind of not require this to align into the center of the page, but align to the first object selected to the key object. So in this case, we aligning to the star. And now we can try from here. We select both objects. And here it is. We got this alignment to the star again, and it's not to the center of the page. Alright, so that's how you can very quickly center your object. Select your object, alignment panel, center to page, and you are done. How to use Bezier line tool in CorelDRAW? Simply head to the draw panel. When you got those different line tools, click and hold so you can see all of them. There's a Bezier option, select that, and now you'll be able to draw your lines. If you just keep clicking with this tool, you will get this straight line, and the nodes will be sharp nodes, just like that. But if you click and hold, I didn't release my mouse, I'm still holding my mouse, you will be able to create those curvy lines. Keep in mind, you are not only curving the line behind, the one we see, but we are affecting the next line. So take a look. If I click here, even I just click once, it's supposed to be straight line, but no, because we curve this point, the next line, it's also a bit curved, but if I click next one is straight again. So that's important to remember. Whenever you curve the line, the next one will be curved a bit too to match with that curve point. So that's kind of the biggest challenge for new users, to simply understand that the next line, we don't have the full control on that. It's a bit curvy because of the previous point as well. If you need the full shape, you should always go back to the starting points. In my case, it's just a line. If I want to stop drawing it, I can change the tool to any other tool, and then I will end up with simple line. I don't need to continue using this tool. So it's a rather similar tool to pen tool, and we got these two user cases: clicking for straight line, or click and hold so you can curve your line. If you want to stop drawing, you can switch to different tool or press spacebar. There are several options we can adjust while using the tool. So let's try it once more. Click and hold so you can see the full list. In case you cannot see the Bezier tool, just click and hold, see the list, and then we can start using it. Or you can double tap on the tool so you will be able to see those additional options for that tool. Keep in mind, when you are drawing your curves, you can always go back to them. So I finished drawing by pressing the spacebar, and now I can edit those nodes. So those nodes can be still move around, and the angles can be adjusted. You can even add a new node if you really need, or you can delete existing node by pressing backspace on your keyboard delete button. So keep that in mind. Even you make some small mistakes while drawing your lines, don't delete the whole thing. Just fix them using the node tool here at the top, the second selection tool for editing. Hey guys, recreating famous logos can be a great exercise in mastering the software. Today we're going to use CorelDRAW on Mac to recreate Adidas logo. It's rather simple and beginner friendly. Simply use a shape tool. So in our case, that's the rectangle. We need to draw one long rectangle like this. We're going to fill it with color. So I want this to be completely black. And for the line, I actually don't need a line at all. So we don't need to worry about outline of it. So I change to none. And with this, I will make simply 2 more copies of that. If you hold Command or Control on your keyboard while dragging the shape around, instead of moving this out, you will make a perfect copy. Now we need to align this nicely, so be sure that your snapping options are on. All of the snapping, that will be helpful while you're aligning your objects, alright? So I will also zoom in a bit. Alright, I select all 3. Now in the alignment panel, I align them to the center vertically, like that. And we can also distribute them, but in our case, I need to push them a bit closer to each other. Alright, and with that we're going to modify them slightly. So 2 we move down a little bit, and the last one even lower, something like that. Select all of them, and now we're going to rotate them. We need to rotate them 30 degrees, so we can use this rotation box at the top. Simply type 30, hit enter, and here we are. Now we simply need to cut down the bottom part of this by using another shape. That will be the easiest way. So if I put the shape here, I'll put some color in, and as you can see, it's almost like an Adidas logo, right? So now it's time for some final changes, but in my case, I'm happy with the result, and I need to use that red shape to cut out the bottom part from those 3 elements. So first I will select them both by holding Shift. I'm going to unite them into just one shape. Even though they're not touching each other, we can combine them. Done. And now select top and the bottom. And now we're going to select the second action here, cut. And I can move this away because the bottom part was cut already. And we very quickly recreate the famous Adidas logo by drawing 3 rectangles, rotating them, and cutting the bottom part. Let me show you how easy it is to mirror a shape or an image in CorelDRAW. Simply select the object you want to mirror. Then you will see this option straight away at the very top. So we got a vertical mirror and the horizontal one. So we want to flip this across the vertical line, left and right, just like that, or up and down. So as you can see, it's really simple. Alternatively, you can try to do it manually by dragging the point of transformation all the way to another side, like that, and we flip the object by hand. But it's way easier by pressing simply one button at the top. And done. If you are a CorelDRAW user, you probably get this pop-up already. There's a new version. Do you want to upgrade? Maybe you've been thinking, I just want to switch to different software. Alright, so what are the options right now in 2024? Based on the price tag, we can move to the very first program here called Inkscape. Inkscape is an open source software, so you can get it completely free, the commercial license. You can get it for Mac and Windows alike, even for Linux. It's really decent. Recently get a huge update 1.3, so it's a great free software. It's a free software, so you can just download this right now and try it yourself. So there's Inkscape for you. You can switch to Inkscape for free. Then there's a program that is paid but is cheaper than CorelDRAW. It's called Affinity Designer. Currently we got Affinity Designer version 2.5. So there are many improvements, and there's a huge news. They just joined Canva family. That's right, this huge Canva company, and they probably going to get like extra money to develop version 3 of the software. So if you jump on Affinity Designer train, you may expect some interesting upgrades and maybe some kind of share features with Canva in the future. They confirmed they are not going to switch to 100% subscription model. So that's already confirmed. You can get Affinity Designer for a flat price, flat fee. You buy it once and use it forever. So that's Affinity Designer, cheaper than CorelDRAW. Then we got the CorelDRAW. You got option to stay on your current version or update. You can pay for the lifetime version as well if you don't want to pay monthly fees. And if you want to actually like pay more than right now, you can switch to Adobe Illustrator. So Adobe Illustrator is only available through subscription fee. You cannot purchase one-time license and use it like in the past. So that's the most expensive option. And be careful for promotions. If you got like promotion on the monthly plan, they usually force you to subscribe for 1 year or something like that. And if you cancel during that, you will need to pay back the promotion amount that you kind of get because of the 1 year subscription. So you need to like pay $200 to cancel, something like that. So it's really silly. All right, so that's like the most expensive option, but people say it's the most feature wise because they got now the support of AI. They got this Firefly AI that they keep improving, and it's also now available in Illustrator to help you out with your projects. So that's what I think is like 4 software that we should consider in 2024. Of course, there are many more programs that you could use. Depends what is your workflow really. So we got Inkscape for free, Affinity Designer cheaper than CorelDRAW. Then we got CorelDRAW and Adobe Illustrator. So luckily for you, all of those can be tried for free. So of course you can get the full version of Inkscape for free. There's a 2 weeks trial, I think, for Affinity Designer. There's a trial for Illustrator as well. So feel free to just simply try it first and then decide what program do you really want. I hope this short video was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.